Hey, hello, great minds. Hope you're doing awesome today and having an amazing day. It's my pleasure and joy to be right in front of your face this wonderful day. It's my birthday, yeah. And I'm so glad to celebrate with all you, my friends, family, and fans. Well, today I thought to give you a special gift, just like I've been gifted so many things all my life. I felt it's very, very important that on my birthday, I also give this special gift to you because I value you and I treasure you as a family, as a friend, and as a fan. Yes, this is particularly for my music family, friends, fans, but I feel it would also benefit those who are not really into music because these are principles that would practically help you grow in whatever field you are. Of course, my name is Oluwatobi Ajiboye, also known as Bazzik T. I'm Africa's number one bass guitar mentor and, of course, your music coach. I am particular about transformation through music and transformational music also. So today I just want to give you a brief masterclass on how to grow as a musician. I know many of us desire growth, but the truth is our desire for growth has to grow beyond just we being good on our instruments or being good as a musician or being good as someone who plays whatever instrument it is you play, whatever it is you do that has to be rhythmical and have a structure. It's growth is beyond mastering those things. And you cannot truly say you have grown if you have not taken into cognizance or if you are not consciously working on these 3 points I'll be presenting to you this wonderful birthday of mine. So really, for every musician, there is what we call the 3 aspects that if you are growing in those aspects or if you are yearning to grow in those aspects, you can practically say you're on the proper music journey. Now, those 3 things are things that are normally put together and presented as one to many of us. Many of us look at all of that as one, or maybe unconsciously, we don't even look at these 3 things. We just focus on one aspect and we're pushing and hitting on that aspect, expecting results. And we probably have not seen results for a very long time. Now, these 3 aspects that truly, if you're growing in or if you're passionate about growth in, would totally transform your life if you are aware of them as separate entities and not just as a wholesome thing. Now, when I say separate entities, I'm trying to bring to your consciousness the fact that you have to individually work on these 3 aspects for you to practically grow as a musician. Now, first of all, amongst these 3 aspects is the aspect of the art itself. Secondly is the mindset. And thirdly is the business aspect, which I call the AMB, putting the 3 of them together. Now, the art is something we cannot do without. Of course, we know the arts is an integral part of our lives as humans. And there is no way as a human you will do without entertainment. Something has to amuse you. Something has to make you feel good. Something has to, just change the moments and create the moments for you. And of course, our own art is music. Now, when we talk about the art, you must understand that there is a level and degree of hard work that is needed for you to grow as an artist. Now, an artist in terms of the art. Now, the art has to do with you practicing, composing, doing your runs, your riffs, if you're an instrumentalist or if you play an instrument, working on your dynamics and all of that. All of that is the art. And I see that a lot of musicians really are passionate about the arts. I've had quite a number of people, walk up to me and tell me, so I really want to be good on this. How many hours you practice for a day? For how long should you practice? What is your practice routine like? Which is very, very important. But the truth is, when you want to talk about the art and you want to talk about practice, basically you're talking about learning something new. And if you want to learn something new, there is a principle to follow. You don't just pick up something and have a go at it just like that instantaneously. No, you have to take the pain of process. And when I say the pain of process, I'm also opening up to you a principle that I actually discovered some times back. And that's the principle I tagged the PCS principle, which has helped me personally and so many other people learn anything. The PCS principle is basically a principle that would help you learn anything the right way and master it properly and perfectly. Now, PCS is an acronym for the word pieces, of course. Pieces, or let me not say an acronym, it's just a short form of the word pieces. If you're into construction and you go to purchase, building materials, and for example, you pick up 10, would I say 10 nails? You wouldn't call it 10 nails, you call it 10 probably pieces of nails. So if I pick 10 on my invoice, it will be written 10 PCS. Now, the PCS principle is not you going to shop anyway, but the PCS principle is basically a principle that would help you pieces, whatever it is you want to learn. Now, as an artist who wants to work on the art of doing music, the art of music itself, you must first of all understand this principle, because this has been a guiding principle that has helped me over time learn to decipher and learn so many things so easily. Of course, it will take time, but following this principle will help you dot the I's and cross the T's. So the PCS principle is an acronym, or PCS is an acronym where P stands for precision. Before you learn whatever it is you want to learn, whether a scale, a riff, an arpeggio, a chord progression, name it, a slap riff, and an application of dynamics in your running of notes, linkages between notes, jumps, and patterns. First of all, you must learn precisely what those notes are. If I give you a riff like La, mi, sol, la, mi, re, do, sol, la, mi, sol, la, mi, re, do, sol, la, mi, sol, la, mi, re, do, sol, la. Now, within la, mi, sol, la, mi, re, do, sol, la, there are several notes put together. Of course, it's a pentatonic, the composition of pents or pentatonic notes. But of course, if you want to get it the way I did it, you first of all have to learn the notes that were used or that was used to put together that riff. Maybe I made a mistake, or maybe I was too fast by using the tonic surface. But if I do something like, now I didn't call out the notes, but first of all, you must identify the notes precisely. La, sa, mi, re, do, la. La, sa, mi, re, do, la. La, sa, mi, re, do, la. Or la, sa, mi, re, do, la. It depends, but now I first of all hummed it, then I went further to call out the notes. So precisely you have to know the notes that make up that system, or that riff, or that run. Then secondly, you now move to control. Still back to precision, of course, you have to know the notes, know their names, the nomenclature, and all of that. Then secondly, you move to control. Now, control is how I moved from note to note. From note to note. I moved from la. Now, there's a stretch to it. Mi, sol, la, mi, do. Now, at the point of mi, do, there you discover there was a slaw right there, or you could call it a pull-off at some point, depending on how it was expressed dynamically. So control is basically like you driving a manual transmission car. I know many of us may not know a manual transmission car, but it's basically like you driving a manual transmission car, and you're moving from one gear, maybe one gear 1 to gear 2 to gear 3 to gear 4, and you're stepping on your clutch. Now, you stepping on your clutch to shift gears is what we call practically your control. You're controlling the system to achieve the goal of shifting gears. So you move from precision to control, then finally you move to speed. Don't forget that speed is with respect to time. You must have a direction. Now you're working on something, you've gotten the precise elements or components that make up that thing or that system. Control, you've learned how to control them. Then speed is now how you progressively increase in speed. So as an artist who wants to work on the art aspects of their life, that's the creating of your music, the composing, the determining how many bars you would have before you move into the solo or improvisation or bass line or guitar solo, you have to first of all focus on the PCS. That's what will help you basically learn how to break something. Now, whether it is you're scoring a song or you are creating, you would definitely need the PCS principle, and I'm glad to have presented it to you. Don't forget that the art takes a lot of time. It takes a whole lot of time. And one of the other ways you can build yourself on your art form is to be around people who are also great musicians. Go for their rehearsals, go for their practice. People who are great musicians in your city, be you in Houston, be you in Atlanta, be you in Nigeria, Ibadan, Lagos, Nairobi, South Africa, Johannesburg in South Africa, Tanzania, wherever you are. If you want to be a great musician in your art, as regards the skill of doing music, you have to be around great musicians. Also, thirdly, you have to listen to great music. Great music has a way of, whether consciously or unconsciously, or would I say subconsciously, enter into your mind and help you build an affinity for good, which will eventually come forth in your expression. So that's the art aspect. There are a lot of things to talk about, but I'm just trying to shorten and streamline what I'm saying or what I have to say. Secondly, as a musician who desires growth, you have to learn to have the right mindset. Now, we have a whole lot of musicians out there who have got great skill, but when it comes to the faculty of the mind, they haven't really crossed oceans in their mind. Now, when I say cross oceans, what I basically mean is you need to have a dream, you need to have a goal, you need to have the mindset of discipline. You need to tell yourself motivation is not enough. Yes, you could listen to a musician who is really, really skilled, highly skilled, and be motivated to play. But if you have not learned to work on your skill in terms of discipline, now discipline is a mindset. You say someone has a disciplined mindset. So discipline is a mindset that will help you achieve a lot. Of course, you also have to desire growth. I told a lot of people back then when I started learning the guitar, I had a date and time. I started on the 26th of December, the year 2003. Sorry, pardon me, please. The year 2003 on the 26th of December, exactly 5:30 p.m. Now, I can trace when I started playing the bass guitar, and I can also tell you that I had a mindset as to where I wanted to get to. Now, it is easy for you to practice based on where you are. Now, for example, in my environment, there is a genre of music called Tungba, or another genre of music we call High Life around here, where I live in Africa. And you get to hear a lot of guitar players and drummers focused on that style alone. Now, it is not wrong to be focused on a particular genre of music, but I think it's very important to go the extra mile of being beyond your environment. Now, it gets to a point where your environment determines what you should play, but you should grow to a point where you determine what your environment should listen to. Now, what I mean is go away from the point of repeating what other people have played to creating your own stuff. When I started off, sometime along my journey, I desired to be great. So that mindset made me have the passion, to develop the passion to learn beyond what was available within my environment. It made me learn what other great minds were playing out there. So I wanted to be a lot better than what I had around me. So I had to look for resources. I mean, that mindset made me look for resources online, on YouTube. Even on YouTube, back then, it was very difficult to get great resources because you would have internet that will buffer and buffer and buffer, and to watch a single video of 5 minutes could take you around minimum of 10 hours to finish that video. Unlike now that you can easily access your YouTube videos within a short time. So what I'm trying to drive at is the fact that you have to build the right mindset that sees beyond your environment. I was telling people back then, I say, I'm not training for my environment. I'm training for the global stage. And that's why I can sit before you now and have mentees in Canada, have mentees in the US and the UK and different parts of the world, because when I started off my journey, I really, really wanted to be a global bass player and, of course, a global musician. So you have to build the right mindset. You have to build a mindset that sees discipline as important. You have to build a mindset that sees growth as important. You have to build the mindset that sees self-analysis as very important. You have to have a structure to analyze your growth and see to it that you are intentionally see to it, yes, that you're getting better. You have to learn to set goals and, of course, have targets, short-term targets, long-term goals, broken into short-term targets that you can achieve, over time. Even in your practice routine, you have to have the mindset to learn to go through your practice like it is not an audience. Because if you're doing your practice session like you have an audience, you be too passionate about getting it right instead of being passionate about the process of getting it right. Because a lot of times it's not the result that matters, but the process is what makes the man. So first of all, you have to learn. As an artist, you have to learn to work on your art correctly. You have to learn to build the right mindset. And finally, for this video, you have to learn the business of music. Now, it's beyond creating music. You have to learn how to package your music and, of course, how to market your music. You have to take courses on sales. I see a lot of musicians out there who do not take professional courses. I mean, you're just hooked on to one style of music and you sit right in there, no hard work in terms of marketing what you've got. No hard work. Some of us practically make tracks. I've been there before, single tracks where you make it, you produce, and you're the only one listening to it, or your family members are listening to it with you. It shouldn't be so. You should go beyond and grow beyond just doing music for the fun of it and working so hard only for you to just play your song in your car stereo and remember where you started from, which is good. But go beyond that to getting to the point where you actually have your music out there being listened to. There's nothing wrong with going on a radio tour. There's nothing wrong with running Facebook ads. There's nothing wrong with running YouTube ads, Google ads, for people to be aware of your music. Something shocked me recently, since I started my journey of mentoring people as a music mentor and as a rabbi, if I may say, I would say I practically started thinking nobody was interested in my content. And it can be very daunting because when you see other people perform music, they play cover songs and you see a lot of views, a lot of likes, lots of shares, and you feel like, okay, maybe you choosing to be a mentor aside being a performer was the wrong thing to do. But lo and behold, I discovered I uploaded a couple of contents that had to do with mentorship and, teaching people to develop the right mindset towards music and play music better. I discovered there are a couple of times I uploaded videos that were not even up to a minute, and in less than 48 hours, I was already recording over 60,000, 70,000 views. And it blew me up because I thought this wasn't something people would be interested in. So what I'm trying to tell you is that whatever it is you are doing, as you're performing music, put your music out there. There are people who would want to listen to your music. There are people who are waiting to listen to your music. Don't be too timid, and also don't be too lazy to keep your music to yourself. And don't forget, when I say the business of music, of doing music, I don't necessarily or compulsorily limit it to making money alone, because business is where there's a transaction. So, and transactionally, it may not have to do with money. It could be an exchange of value, whatever. But what I mean is be intentional about working on the business aspect of music. I said it earlier on, learn sales. Learn sales. Add that knowledge to yourself, especially as an indie artist. You may not have the luxury of having a record label taking care of all your needs in terms of the mindset and the business deals and all of that. So at some point in your career, you may have to carry all of this load on your head. And that's why another thing you need to do now, delving back to the mindset, is you need to develop skills in almost every aspect of content creation. For example, you have to develop videography skills, you have to develop photography skills, you have to develop editing skills, because at some point you would have to do all of this yourself. And if you do not have the funds to carry yourself, at least for some time, then you would have to be probably begging here and there for people to assist you. But if you have the skill, there are things you can actually do yourself. So it's my joy to present this, would I say brief? I think I can't call it brief any longer, brief masterclass in quotes to you, and also to thank you for following me through all these years. You have been a wonderful fan, amazing family, an amazing friend. Thank you, especially you watching this video. I appreciate you a lot. Don't forget, you can reach out to me if you need master classes on the bass guitar, in music, and of course, if you need a transformation through music class, I'm open for consultancy, and I'll be glad to meet with you. Of course, I'm open to travel also anywhere around Africa or outside Africa to impact and add knowledge to your music community wherever you are. Thank you so much for watching. I love you with all my heart. My name is Oluwatobi Ajiboye, also known as Bazzik T. I'm Africa's #1 bass guitar mentor and music coach. And I've got a passion to see you grow into a better musician and an amazing human. Do have a lovely day, and bye.